Hello and welcome. The Tamil Nadu Global Investors Meet has just concluded and it has been declared to have been hugely successful. Time will tell as to how much of these investments will make it to reality, but it is to be hoped that the city and the state will grow as a consequence. This is the right time to look at the history of exhibitions, trade fairs, and investors' meet that has been conducted by the state. Would you believe it if I told you that the first ever industries exhibition of India was conducted in Madras city, and that was in 1855. Let us see what is the history of all these trade fairs, industrial exhibitions and investors meets. The first such event was in 1855, and that was due to a very important reason. Calcutta and Bombay had really become powerful commercial cities, and Madras was lagging behind. The government of that time decided that it needed to conduct an industries exhibition, the first of its kind in the whole country. Its inspiration was from the Great Exhibition of London, which had been conducted in 1851, when products from all over the British Empire were brought to the capital city and displayed there. That exhibition was conducted under the leadership of Prince Albert, the Prince Consort, the husband of Queen Victoria. Back in Madras, it was decided that a similar exhibition would be held. Planning began in 1852, and in what was unique, French Pondicherry, Portuguese Goa, and British Madras worked together in conducting this event. The actual exhibition took place in 1855 between the months of March and April, and the venue was the banqueting hall, which we now know as the Rajaji Hall. At that time, Madras was essentially an agricultural province, and therefore whatever was displayed was reflective of that. There were grains, there were fibers, there were plants, and the government was very keen to show what was available here to attract investment. As many as 26,000 people came to see what was on exhibition. And as a consequence, industries did begin to grow. For instance, it was only after this that Binni Mills came into existence in Madras city, and similarly there were other investments in other parts of the presidency. In 1903, the next exhibition came about, and that was known as the Industries and Arts Exhibition. By the time, the nature of produce from here had changed. It was still agricultural, but there were a few implements that were being made, there were basic machinery that was being made, some tools were being manufactured over here, and all of these were put together on display. The exhibition itself was inaugurated by the Maharaja of Mysore, Nalvadi Krishnarajendra Udayar, in the month of December. It took place at the Cathedral Gardens. Now, where was that? That was where Gemini Studios would come up later, and where we have the Park Hotel right now. There was a bungalow there, and that is where this exhibition took place. As many as 64,000 people came to see what was available. The next exhibition took place in 1915, and by then the entire nature of the city had changed. Madras had a harbour. Lots of goods were being imported from England. More number of industries were coming up here. Companies such as Simpson and Addison were importing car and bus bodies and building bodies on top of them. There were plenty of gadgets that were now available. There were all kinds of glassware, plenty of art, plenty of furniture. All of this was put on display in a specially created facility for the exhibition, and that was at People's Park. People's Park was where Park Town is today. There is no park now, but just next to the central station, there was a huge open-air park, and that is where this exhibition was held. Like a modern trade center, like in Nandambakam or in Pragati Maidan, this had special pavilions. There were earmarked allotted places for the various provinces of India and for the various countries of the world to come and show their products. There was a food pavilion. There was an entertainment area. There was a water body. And above all, there was an attraction, a wooden spiral tower, above which people went to get a panoramic view of the city. Tickets were sold for this exhibition, and when it concluded, they discovered that they had made a profit of almost 65,000 rupees. This money was donated to the war fund because the First World War was going on at that time. That was the last exhibition that was held by the British, and then came independence. Post-independence, Madras began to emerge as an industrial center. Vehicle manufacturing companies such as the TI Cycles of Murugappa Group, the TVS Group, Amalgamations Group, Ashok Leyland, they were all here. And as a consequence, industrial estates such as Gindi, Ambattur and others began to come up. In 1967, it was announced that an India International Trade Fair would be held where the Mullam and Naduvakare villages are located. The government changed, and in 1968, the exhibition was held under the auspices of the DMK government. It was a huge success. Mullam and Naduvakare are what today we recognize as Anna Nagar. And even today, when you go there, you find some vestiges of that exhibition. One is an arch, which is not the Anna Nagar arch, but a special arch that was constructed for people to enter the exhibition space. Next to that, there is a gigantic figure playing a pair of drums. This too was on display at that exhibition. Lastly, perhaps inspired by the spiral tower that was there in the 1915 exhibition, there was a concrete tower named after Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, the pioneering engineer. It still stands in what is known as Anna Nagar Tower Park. That India International Trade Fair was a great success as well, and thereafter the city grew in leaps and bounds. It has continued to grow, and we have had in recent years what are now termed as investor meets. We had one in 2016, we had another one in 2019, and now we have had the latest. Let us see what results it will bring, and let us hope that the city and the state will continue to grow as they did earlier. Bye for now.